Hey guys, hope you and the families are doing well. This is going to be one of the most important trading videos that I ever release on the channel, and that is understanding how the story of the indexes unfolds on a daily basis. Now, you may not think that's a very important trading concept, but I actually think it could be the most important trading concept in this market environment that is dominated by algorithms, and there is such a high daily correlation and intraday correlation between the US major indexes and the vast majority of US listed stocks. So what I'm going to teach you in this video, it's from one of my recent live coaching sessions. I'm going to play the extract here on YouTube for you, is understanding how the index story unfolds on a daily basis, and then how to think about what type of setups to be looking at specific moments in time, subject to how that intraday story for the indexes are playing out. So there's days where I want to be looking for opening range breakouts because it's in accordance with how the story for the major indexes is playing out. There's days where I actually want to watch for the flush, and then look for what I call immorellos, intraday mean reversion longs, and play the bounce. So hopefully this video is going to be very enlightening for you, and you're never going to look at the financial stocks or the financial instruments, whether that be ETS, whether that be stocks, the triple Qs, the SPY, Nvidia, Tesla, PLTR, Robinhood. You never look at them in the same way again because of what you're going to learn in this video. Market Surge are today's video sponsor. They're my go-to resource for analyzing company fundamentals. If you're interested in a discounted trial, you'll find a link to that in the description and the comment section below. Hey guys, hope you and the families are doing well. Today's day is September 5th, 2025. So this is the intraday session. So we are going to be working on immorellos. We're going to be working on opening range breakouts. Going to put more of an emphasis on immorellos as that has been more favorable this week. This week has been very, very choppy. So the focus that I want to have for today's session is as triple Qs currently pulls down to its 10-day EMA. I'm looking over there, and the SPY does the same as well. That's interesting. Keep an eye on immorellos. We may do some a little bit later, but really choppy week. So the thing that I'd like to focus this session on is getting the story right on an intraday basis for how the indexes unfold. It's I think when you get it, it's really simple, and you'll never kind of look at the market in the same way. So I just pulled this up. This is this week here. So obviously the market was closed on Monday for the bank holiday. So I use RSP as the benchmark just for this. I think it gives you more of an idea of what the major indexes were doing. So we're actually going to start off going bar by bar through the prior 3 sessions. We then may roll into today's session as well, just going through the triple Qs intraday and kind of understanding the story of the index. And then I can kind of kick about things that I was doing at certain times. Okay, so Tuesday of this week, this count was up around about 1% or so. Then the subsequent day, and that was a much harder day. That's Wednesday of this week. You can see that you get some kind of false, it's more choppy. Intraday, that's down, what's that, 0.4%, something like that. And then yesterday up nearly 1.5%. And today, green as well, when the indexes are getting absolutely destroyed. So we're gonna kick it around, okay? And I'll show you how I kind of trade during these choppy markets. So let me bring in Thomas. Anyone else wants to join in during session? Please just let me know via the chat.
Yeah, hi Jake.
Hey Thomas, you okay?
Yes.
Fantastic. You in a cafe somewhere?
Yeah, yes. Can you hear it?
Yeah. No, it's fine. The audio is fine. I can see that one's happy to join it. Yeah, one. I'll bring you in after Thomas in a little bit. Okay, Thomas, we're gonna start playing through bar by bar the triple Qs this week, specifically looking for opening range breakouts, but then also looking for immorellos, and just trying to get the story right, because then I think that flows in quite nicely to what the indexes are doing today with a big flush, and not trying to go ahead of the indexes and not trying to be early, so to speak. So the triple Qs, Thomas, this is Friday of last week. Can you see these charts okay?
Yeah.
So triple Qs, this is Friday daily chart of last week, and then you can see the pre-market here. It's about to gap down towards the 50-day SMA. So what could happen on Tuesday of this week if it gaps down to the 50? What type of setup could you see very early on?
Could I get down reversal when it wants to close the gap? Yeah.
Okay.
And it's also an Morello from the 50.
Yep. Nice. And then if it were to gap down, make that one to the wrong way. There we go. If it were to gap down here, it's then going to create a really big gap back up to here. So then algos being algos could then turn this around and go gap filler. So we'll play this forward. First 5 minutes, what do you see is currently forming on the daily chart? What do you see is currently forming on the 5-minute chart? What bar is that?
It's a Morello bar. Yeah, and it's 5 minutes time frame.
Yep, trading back down to just below the 50 into these or around these lows as well. Plausible to think that this could turn around and go higher.
Yeah, looks like it.
So in terms of then risk control, we just put this level on like this. A stop of 1/3%, which is 1/3 versus a 20-day ADR percentage. Favorable, not favorable to find out which way it wants to start going.
Very good. Very favorable.
Okay, start playing it forward. So this is Tuesday of this week. 20 minutes into the session, what do you start to see is forming on the daily chart?
That get one reversal.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's closing above the 50.
Mm-hmm. So this is where on Tuesday of this session, getting into ORBs right at the open, pretty favorable because it's trading in accordance with the indexes. Okay, big gap down just below the 50. They could turn around, U-turn higher. ORBs could be kind of in play here, so to speak. What may be happening to the triple Qs now, Thomas, if I put a percentage on that?
Yeah, it has that ADR already, so it could stall out there. But at least lose steam.
Yeah. So when we're then looking for, say, opening range breakouts, would now be the time to be targeting an ORB 25 minutes into the session.
I mean, another one?
Yeah. Would you then target an ORB when the indexes are up here and have already hit their 20-day ADR percentage?
No. I would actually free roll with that. That's what are.
Yeah. Here's the time to be taking profits. So the time to be getting long on Tuesday, opening range breakouts was in here. And then trying to ride that. And now we want to be aware that, okay, the triple Q's intraday is up circa its 20-day ADR percentage. So what Thomas is doing here is we're going to have the entry here. And then you're saying, Thomas, 1/3 off, 2 times initial risk, free roll. And what we do have, which we'll then kind of think about, is this lovely big gap to go and fill as well. Okay, just going to play it forward. Okay, what do you see is forming there on the 5-minute chart, Thomas?
That's the supply shoot there,
Yeah. And it kind of makes sense. So again, really trying to focus on the flow of the indexes. Where the indexes go, the vast majority of stocks will flow. They will just textbook today, carbon copy of it. We'll play through today as well. But it's now up over. So this is where we start applying then common sense. Opening drive, that gap down up over its 20-day ADR percentage. So from low of the day, high of the day, 1.09%. That's more than 1.06%. And you've just seen a 5-minute supply sheet. What's probably going to happen in the next 15 to 30 minutes here, Thomas?
Definitely a retracement possible to the pink line, or probably lower. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe test the 5-minute 6 EMA, maybe even come down and test the 50, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Test the 5-minute 6 EMA. Tries to go higher again. What did you see?
Another supply shoot on a lower high. Yeah.
Yep. Keep playing it. Okay, nice turnaround.
Strong reversal. Yeah.
Hmm. So with an ORB, we can kind of ride this 5-minute 6 EMA. Back to high of day.
It's okay. It's ranging now. Now it's breaking down. Yeah.
Okay. So now, what we have tended to see this week is opening drive, flush in Morello. So if you were just managing this one on an intraday basis, Thomas, for me, the exit is actually kind of in here. Close below the 5-minute 6 EMA, starts going. But here, it's turned, the MACD's gone. That would be the exit there for an ORB.
Yeah.
Then what I want to do is play it forward because right now the intraday trend for the indexes on a really short-term basis are down. It's below the 5-minute 6 EMA, the MACD's just crossed. We can just kind of chill out, let the session develop, and then you tell me when you see potentially an entry to get back in. I'll just play it forward, this flush. Tries to hold the 50. What happens there at 11 o'clock?
another small supply shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. So here we can
volume.
see, yeah, pressure, pressure, pressure. And how many people really stepped up to try and buy it on the 50?
Yeah, with average probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say this here looks pretty feeble to me, given the context of that weakness, this supply shoot, pressures to the downside. It's below the 5-minute 6 EMA. No need to take in Morello's here. No need to force anything. Just let the indexes flush. Now, where are they going to go, Thomas? Like a magnet. Where are they heading to?
Intraday low.
Yep.
Low. Session low.
Yep. So play here is just literally nothing from the long side. There's nothing to do when the indexes are like this below their 5-minute 6 EMA. We're getting there. Okay, to it. Trying to rally a little bit. Supply shoot, supply shoot. Now, what setup do you see down here if the high of this bar is taken up?
Yeah, it's an umbrella setup.
Yep, right there.
And it's also a double bottom, market maker bottom.
Yeah, nice. MACD starting to turn. So here's the umbrella. So we may see it unfold today. Keep an eye on them over there. Qs and the spies are around their 10-day EMA. But right here, it goes through the high. That's an umbrella. We've got the MACD turning, reclaiming 5-minute 6 EMA. The two supply shoots down here, given the contacts actually say willing buyers coming in, willing buyers coming in. Not strong enough yet, but there it is. And then on the day, this is then down. It's 20-day ADR percentage effectively into the low of the day. That kind of fuel is also used to the downside. Play this forward. So you've had your 5-minute ORB there, Thomas, that we're going through. Let me just clean that chart up a little bit. Turn this magnet off. Thomas, there's 5-minute ORB here. So what I'm hoping, Thomas, is by the time we finish this section, we'll see Immorellos in real time developing. Keeping an eye on them. So it'll be the same kind of thing. So then this is the time for me to start getting long Immorellos. So play it forward. I then like to use the 5-minute 21 EMA, the blue line for Immorellos, Thomas. So we'll just play this forward. If you're using the 5-minute 21 EMA as the trading stop, any reason to exit yet?
No.
Okay. Holding it, still holding it. Nice. Now, what's potentially the next upside resistance from your Immorello down here?
Intraday high, and then next one is a previous day low.
Yep, nice. So intraday high, that's kind of our first logical area of resistance. Let's just turn that from pink to red just to delineate it a little bit better. Okay. So we're just going to play it forward, play out the session, a couple minutes left. And there's the session. I'll go forward one more bar. And there's the session. So in terms of then trading in accordance with the indexes, you nailed the 5-minute ORB there. So that was the time to be getting long 5-minute ORBs. And we're specifically talking about kind of choppy market environments. This is an absolute chop fest. V there, there's going to be another V, I'm sure everyone's aware, but just trying to trade in accordance. Okay, this is time to be long 5-minute ORBs. When it starts flushing like this, just wait. Wait. Okay, now's the time to get long in Morellos, which we may see. They're starting to turn a little bit, guys. We may see that happen here, and then you just ride it into a close. We'll play forward the next session, Thomas. Getting there, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Okay, so something to be aware about here, Thomas, is the tendency for the indexes to try and rally, fail in the opening 15 to 30 minutes or so, flush, then in Morello. On the daily chart, they fill the gap. So it's a bit of a tricky session. They fill the gap, get resisted at the 21-day EMA. And what have they just created to the downside now?
Another gap now.
Another gap. So a bit of a tricky session. Because rather than kind of move through and go fill that gap and make it easier to trade, they gap up into it plus their 21-day EMA, which acted as resistance in the pre-market. Can't get through, 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 can't get through. Okay. Play this forward.
wouldn't you target Marilla or be down there? Also, now we see it didn't work, but it's looked like very like a good thought at the first 5 minutes.
Me, good question. So what Thomas is asking is, do you take the ORB short to the downside there? My my concern with that, Thomas, is where is the first short-term area of support going to be?
So support previously high, right?
I'd be looking at this pre-market lows,
Mhm. Yeah.
and then you have post-market lows, and then you have previous day high. So you're kind of, in a way here, I think you're almost taking the short into logical area of potential support. So the risk to reward, I don't think is because you probably go above the pre-market high. I don't know. Within 1 times risk, you're basically at pre-market support, post-market support. And then it's only 1.5 times initial risk to yesterday's high of day. Personally, I'd want to see a bigger kind of potential reward there. Would be my view. Plus, it's got this shakeout demand tail on it. Usually with the better ORBs, what you'll see is they'll close right on the high, and for the ORB breakdowns, they'll close right on the low of the bar. So for me, no, but I understand the logic, Thomas. That makes sense?
Mhm.
What I'm going to do is this session here is a bit more kind of choppy.
Yeah, now it's a 21 and the 10 as a resistance.
Mm-hmm. What I want to do is play forward just to the point where, because this made this session, I found this session harder. So I'm just going to play it forward to where you can see an umbrella, kind of. Okay, so I'll bring this back up for people that joined late. So that was the first session that you traded. So just over 1% on this account. And then this one here, down about 0.4%. And this is the one that we're going to trade through. This is a harder session, and it may make more sense towards kind of the end of it. So what's the story here, Thomas? You can see what's happening on the daily chart. Sorry, on the daily chart over here. You got kind of this doji. You can see what's happening here on the 5-minute chart. Where do the indexes want to go? What are they trying to do? What are the algos trying to do here?
I see the 10 and 21 as resistance,
Okay.
definitely. And I don't like the along there, even though what I like is the MACD.
Yep. Okay.
That's turning, and that could be a small chart, a start of a small trend.
Okay.
But otherwise, I don't. I don't like the overhead resistance there.
Okay. So you're thinking 21 overhead, 10 overhead, high of day overhead.
Yeah, and it has to go push through both, right, to start a trend.
Yeah. And you then also have the context of this is a decent sized gap up, and you've got all this kind of void down here, this big gap fill. And the doji is then signaling indecision. But what's kind of happening in this area here is you're starting to see stocks setting up. I know we're not now because we're just trading the indexes, but these ones here can be tricky sessions. In particular, this one, because you've had the gap and you're like, well, strong start, then it pulls down. Is it just going to turn around and do it? So, okay, we'll play it forward. So well done for avoiding that one. Then it starts trying to Imorello here, Thomas. Take it, don't take it. What do you think?
It's the same story. Although what's positive on it is now it's already failed one time, so the
Yeah.
probability of the next signal is bigger. But
Okay.
otherwise, I still don't like it. I would give it a 5.
Okay. Let's pass then. Let me play it forward. Pop, drop. Okay, now we start getting into low of day, yeah? What do we see when the flush happens below the low of day?
Yes, definitely buying something there. Yeah.
Yeah, nice big shakeout. Okay, no turn yet. No turn yet.
Breaks again. Yeah.
Flush, flush, flush. Still flushing. Still flushing. Still flushing. Still flushing. Okay, what do you see there?
Yeah, there's definitely some strengths coming in, small level. But still, on a higher time frame, there's still a gap fill,
Hmm.
which is probably at the higher time frames are usually stronger, the signal.
Yeah.
So intraday, sure, there is a could be a reversal,
Yeah.
but I
So,
would bet
so
more on the gap fill.
my kind of thinking as well. This is what made this session. So we are playing through this session here where I was down 0.4% because at this time here, there is about an hour and 20 minutes of the session left. And then the question here is, do you think this Immorello is going to work? So you've had one leg down, two legs down, three legs down. Three is often a magic number in the market. It's undercut low of day. You're starting to get the signal here. The MACD is crossing. So do you go long there, stop there? But then when you look on the daily chart, you're like, this gap really looks like it wants to get filled. And this is a pretty ugly candlestick at the minute. Take
And
it.
maybe it's a six. No, no, no. Could have
Yeah.
an eight or so for an entry. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to pop this in like this, Thomas, just play it forward. Because if you didn't take this, so then hopefully this then kind of makes sense for on this day. So we just played through this one here, and I'm down about 0.4% on the day, okay? This is one of those like grindy days where you're trying to get something to go in there, they then kind of roll over in here, you may be trying to cut in here, and then it flushes, and then it says, do you want to try again? And I kind of went, nah, I'm tired, and I think it's going to fill the gap. And now everyone can kind of see how that daily candlestick has changed. So if you didn't get long the Morello there into the close, and these ones are difficult. This is just a grindy, choppy session with few opportunities other than maybe in the last uh, hour of the session or so. Tricky, tricky session, that one, Thomas. Let's play forward the next session. Does it all making sense, Thomas? You enjoying this?
Yeah, definitely. Although I may for the bit higher context, where in the QQQ, when you look at it, it's building a lower high
Okay.
and on a daily, and so probably the momentum is starting to the downside now. Just to be aware of it in general.
Oh, okay.
And we talked about seasonality, right? Like September, October. Uh,
I completely agree, Thomas. And then on 4th of September, yesterday, the triple Q does that in the first 5 minutes.
yeah, it's very strong.
Very strong, right? What do you do? Where do you think it's going?
Yeah, that's still on. Although it's like an ORB test, maybe a
Okay.
smaller risk because of the downtrend, but otherwise, yeah.
Okay. So Thomas is thinking here, ORB looks strong. Now, in the prior two sessions, Thomas, what we've seen is, so again, we link it back to, okay, what's the story of the index? Right now, we're probably thinking, story of the index, to reclaim the 10-day EMA and see the strength there on the daily chart. This looks strong, looks like it wants to get. A lot of stocks looking pretty strong in terms of leaders, very similar to this. Some of the mega caps are kind of helping the triple Qs here, but I look strong. Okay, play it forward. Now what just happened, Thomas?
Reversed, yeah.
Yeah. So what's happened in the prior two sessions is what we've seen, and this tendency so far playing out today as well. What we've seen is an opening drive, flush to new session lows, Immorello into the close. Opening drive, flush to new session lows, Immorello into the close. Just something to be aware about. Play this forward. Okay, not stopped yet, not stopped yet, not stopped yet. Okay, stopped. We get stopped out here, out of the 5 minute RB. That's fine. You're going to have losing trades. What's the play now, Thomas? What are we waiting for? What are we looking for? What do you see on the daily as well?
Yeah, that's to a degree. And now it's an ORB to the downside. Yeah. Although
Could
it's more like the opening range there. So that it made a stop run and then it reversed. Yeah.
okay. Where's the first area of
Number 21 is a support. Yeah.
the issue here is if you start going short right here, you're right at the support. I actually think this is a pretty difficult one to try and short because you're at the 21 where the algos could suddenly just go switch on. We're back. maybe you got prior sessions low of day, but if you're risking to the high of day, something like that, it's not even one times. I think it's tricky, that one.
Mhm.
I think here the story is from the long side. If we just focus on the long side here of nothing to do, wait for the Imrello. Just there's nothing. We just wait.
Yeah, yeah. That's the story's playing out there.
Okay,
Support.
what do you see now?
Yeah, no, no, support is coming in there. Yeah,
Yeah, you can see it with the demand tail, right? Check out
yeah.
demand tail. Right on the 21-day EMA. Shake out demand tail, 21-day EMA, really strong reversal. Where does the index want to try and get?
It looks want to go higher now. Yeah,
Okay.
let's make the cross next bar probably as if
Yeah,
it
no,
closes higher.
yeah, nice. So the story here, if we're thinking about, okay, the story trade in accordance with the index, the story here is, and again, given the correlation of the indexes, the algos and stocks, this is what the vast majority of stocks here are looking like. The play here is indexes are going to push Immorellos. Left forward. Okay, we get filled there. Where's the first logical overhead resistance, Thomas?
Intraday higher.
Yeah, intraday high. Put that in red. So intraday high, okay? Left forward. We'll see how it reacts if and when it gets there.
Definitely a free wallet into it. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
there.
Yes.
And then just push the stop a little bit. Something like
Yeah,
that, right?
that
Right. Kind of
doesn't matter. Yeah.
into hive day. Yeah. Let's just go and mark that up then. So people can kind of then just follow along. And then that will then segue us quite nicely into today. But what's then happening today? I kind of so I'm then just going to play it forward, the session. And then it's just steady higher highs, higher lows, 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 into the close. So then the opportunities that form today, if you're thinking about, okay, what type of setups am I looking to trade in accordance with the story of the indexes? Where are the indexes going to try and get? It was right there. Try and get long in Morellos and then ride them. So when you then get, if I then just pop this up, people. So if I then bring this back up, so this is this week. So first session, Thomas traded through, up a percent. Next session, which was just choppy. If you didn't take the Morellos into close, there really wasn't that much to do, down 0.4%. There's just no real opportunities. Next session up 1.4, 1.5%. So then when you get these opportunities, plus 1 minus 0.4 plus 1.4-ish. It's then about trying to be there at the moment as per your strategy. And especially when you're then in these choppy market environments of not trying to fight the indexes. And when you're in these markets, you've just got to kind of grind it out. These ones are kind of easy. You just sit and nail the trends. But these ones are easier. But when you start getting into this choppy, 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 choppy sideways mess, it's just about trying to always stay on side with the algos. So if we then play forward today's session, Thomas, let's go.
Can you see the lower trend line of the last of the falling highs there in the index? Because there's a downward trend line from the highs. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice spot. Depends what way you want to look at that, really.
Yeah.
You could say, you could look at that as bullish. You could look at that as bearish. You could say, oh, look at this.
If it closes above it, it's bullish, but if it stays below it, it's bearish. Yeah.
You could say the index is a tightening and building a kind of flag in him. You just had a big shakeout at the 50. You've had a big shakeout demand tail there. Or you could say, nope, the index is a building, lower highs, that's bearish. Or you could just go, the indexes are just chopping around all over the place and I'm really not too sure. All I know is it's pretty choppy right now. If we play forward, let's then go through today's session, Thomas. So I want you to try and get the play today, which may be a little bit easier because of recency bias. But zoom it forward, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Okay, 9:35. Daily chart, Thomas. What just happened?
Big gap up, yeah.
Big gap up. What happened in the opening 5 minutes? Did it get bought up? Did it get sold into?
Sold into that. The
Yeah.
typical manipulation, like
Okay.
overnight manipulation, and then it's often the day tendency is the reversal of that. Yeah.
Oh, yes. So now you're asking about shorts, Thomas. Up here,
Yes, definitely.
oh, now we're talking because you've got so much downside relative to the amount of risk. Yeah. So if we go here, stop underneath the low, and I can know the next bar. But if we then put this up, because then we're thinking about, okay, how asymmetric in nature is this? From here to here, what 2R doesn't even get us to the gap fill. We're about 3R to the gap fill. That's a pretty high probability in my view. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Big gap up, sold into 3R down to the gap fill. Okay, that's a short that we can take. Okay, let's play this forward. Starts pushing a little bit. Cover the short, hold the short. What are you thinking?
Oh, wait, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. How much wiggle room would you give it above high of day?
Actually, as much as possible. Also, I like to get one hour wiggle room, but otherwise, not on an ORBs, but in general, at least
Okay.
1 hour.
Because this one here, given this market's environment to initial push get faded into, we may see as a little supply shoot there.
It's definitely possible. Also,
Yeah, it doesn't, but that's what I'm saying. You may just want to, that's one way you're kind of watching it in real time to go, okay, my stop is probably up here. And I'm just giving it a little bit of wiggle room because I wouldn't be surprised if it tries to go, fails.
yeah,
As
yeah,
soon
definitely.
as soon as it starts breaking down like this, tighten the stop. Now you've got momentum to the downside. So then the question is, so this is today. This is 10:05 today. Okay. Given how this bar formed, so again, just kind of linking this back to the story of the indexes and just trying to trade in accordance with it. In this first 5 minutes, Thomas, is there any point in looking for opening range breakouts on the long side? Given that opened that gap up, that first 5 minute bar for the indexes.
No,
No, the indexes are going to flush.
no.
There's no point trying to do it. Short term, they're going to flush. So what's the play here today, Tom? What are we looking for? And then what type of setups are we looking to target?
Setup, none, no setup. Just the right to trade. Yeah. Like
Yeah, sure.
it's a falling knife, and then
But
let's go.
from the long side, what do we want to see happen? And then what could
If
we do?
if there's an umbrella, then I would wait for the MACD.
Okay, nice. So our first target for looking for Imrellos would be that gap fill.
Yeah.
We ain't there yet. Momentum clearly to the downside. Play it forward. Okay, we're now into the gap fill. This is 10:20, about an hour and 10 minutes ago. Any signs of demand yet at the gap fill?
No, no.
Zero. Supply shoot, straight back down.
Yeah.
You don't need to cover any of your short, Thomas.
No.
Ride
Yeah,
it
I like
down.
the moving averages fanning out. So that means that's accelerating the trend.
Mm-hmm. Little doji. Try and ride this 5 minute 6 EMA at a minimum. Because
Yes.
if price starts closing above the 5 minute 6 EMA, what setup are you going to see?
Can you ask it again? Yes, the switch between.
If price gets above the 5 minute 6 EMA, what setup are you going to see?
That could be an irrelevant. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which is kind of like the covering signal for your short.
Yes.
So you could just flip them. Okay, cover the short, go long. What's coming into view for the triple Qs?
Now the 10 and 21. That's a total first line of
Hmm.
resistance there.
Okay. And this is why we just wait. So here, about an hour ago, there's nothing to do other than just wait for the Amarellos. Okay, bit of demand.
There's a small time, a big amber. There's an amber.
Okay. No reason for you to cover your short. Now, people watching this, we've got some members live with us. I bet that some of you saw that bar and went, I'm going to go long. There it is. There it is. And then that would have happened to you. And that's why you don't go early. You don't need to go early. When I say you, I'm not referring to you, Thomas. I'm just saying you generally. Don't rush it. There's no need to rush it. Just wait for
Yeah,
the signal.
front running indicators does not work for me.
You just wait for the reclaim of the 5-minute 6 EMA, or wait for the MACD to go positive, and preferably it's around a key daily moving average or a potential area of support. Now on the downside, Thomas, if we take a reading here from high of the day down here, 1.61%. That's 1.6 times the 20-day ADR percentage. We talk about fuel in the fuel tank on the upside. It works on the downside as well. The Q is now short-term extended on the day into a probable area of support, 10-day EMA. 21-day just below it as well. No turn yet. No reason to cover your short yet either. Okay. Okay, what do you see there?
That's another ender. That's now the MACD are much closer.
Mm-hmm.
This could change now.
Okay.
The change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I definitely would pre-roll, although I don't know, not pre-roll, but close it part of the trade there.
I would put your stop, Thomas, above the high of that bar.
So,
Because we're basically, Thomas, what we're saying, the play here is if the high of that bar is taken out, it's in Morello's galore. We actually want to switch. Close to short, get long in Morello's.
yeah.
Think we can do that?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
So
Yeah, I like it.
what we're going to do here, through the high, stop under the low. And again, we're doing this with the triple Qs, but this is I could pull up 1,001 stock charts and they are all going to look exactly like this, guys. If I appreciate I bang on and on and on and on and on, but if you get this, trading becomes so much easier because in here you're not trying to fight it. Just wait. And then it whizzes forward. But there, Thomas, that is where, let me close this chart up. So Thomas is short. I'm just going to close these up. Thomas takes his short here, his stop, high of day. Okay, let's go turn this then red for his stop. Thomas then covers his short here, flips, and goes long the Morello's. Nice and easy, Thomas.
Yeah, I like it.
So
And I like it because it's recent, right? It's really real life trading. It's not back testing here.
I mean, people in the chat, if you want, throw at me a couple of stocks. Type in some tickers. Give me some tickers as well, Thomas. What do we got?
I have BA short, for example. I don't know if it's
Give me
the pattern.
kind of stocks in the S&P 500 that you can think of that just come to mind.
Yeah, is it BA?
BA?
Yeah.
Okay, Boeing, yep. Got any others?
I have another
We've got
technology
Oklo,
short. Is that true? Yeah.
PLTR. What else we got? Kyle saying SoFi, CCJ,
Microsoft. Yeah.
Microsoft, okay. So this is then where you try and dial in on the leaders and you start looking for potential sunshine, like Oklo, really nice.
Yeah, Microsoft is not a leader. So.
No. But like Oklo, for instance, and PLTR is the one that's red. Let's turn that back to blue or something. Okay, so PLTR is trading sideways in here. Like it. SoFi trying to trade sideways in here. Oklo trying to trade sideways. Hood, maybe not as much. But when the indexes are just going down, down, even BA in here, it's trying to fight it. CCJ, you've got to kind of understand the context as well. CCJ is not an Immorello stock. It doesn't tend to, if you go and look at it, it doesn't tend to flush bounce. It doesn't really do that. So you want to try and stay on the stocks that do that. If I swap this for, say, NVIDIA, so this is all live, real time, as we are recording that. The point that I'm really trying to get across in this session, if you were trying to take any Immorellos, any setups prior to the triple Qs Immorelloing, you didn't make any money. You probably got chopped around at best, and pretty much you lost money. If you had just waited for the triple Qs to Immorello right there where Thomas did, you could have thrown a dart at any of these stocks, put your stock lower day, and made money. It's just about trying to line up the probabilities as best as you can. Don't fight the triple Qs in here. Just wait. Even Robinhood in here, it's kind of tempting you, right? You're like, what? It's gonna go, it's gonna go. I'm gonna look high lows, high lows, high lows. While the triple Q down, down. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go. Stop, low date, you stop. Bowen, even in here, if you're trying to go in here, okay, because it's okay, a little bit of strats, okay, it's kind of Immorelloing ahead of the triple Qs and the SPY, and you put your stop there, you're just under pressure for half an hour. And quite fortunate not to just get stopped. Whereas if you just wait to there and you start to get the Immorellos, that's the time.
There's one question there, because on Rocket Lab, so when you look at the charts, Rocket Lab seems to be have relative strength to the other stocks, right? Would you prefer Rocket Lab there?
It's really interesting, Thomas. Really interesting question. Thank you for that. So what you can often see is Rocket Lab starts off the session a lot stronger. Okay. It tries to go in here by the triple Qs, just falters basically. Yeah. Triple Qs is a lot weaker than Rocket Lab. Hopefully everyone can see that. Rocket Lab, push, strong, triple Qs, not doing that. So then the question is, okay, when Rocket Lab then comes down and starts Immorelloing, it's trying to go in there, it's trying to go in there. The actual Immorello comes through right here, through the high, stop there. Generally, I would try and say, focus on the strongest stocks that display intraday relative strength. Preferably, they display strength for the maximum amount of time possible during the session. I can't do it all session, but what I'm looking at is, okay, can it show strength in the morning? Can it then show strength? It's trying to go, it's trying to go. Well, the indexes are just down, 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 down. So yes, Rocket Lab, I think is strong. What you can see though, Thomas, is you can see stocks that were not displaying any kind of impressive strength during the morning session. Let's take Oklo, for instance. This is a good example. So here, it's not showing strength versus this. It's pretty much just as weak as the Qs, really. But then it starts showing a bit of strength in here as the Immorello starts forming. That's what you'll tend to see the leaders. So what I try and do is focus on what is strong right at the moment. When you start to see the indexes turn right there, where do you suddenly start to see the strength? And even better, if you suddenly start to see the strength. So if you look at, I appreciate we're going deep in the weeds here. Let's just dial in on Oklo a second. I'm just going to try and clean these charts up for you guys. If you look at Oklo's bar, and it's this bar here, if I hover over it, see how Oklo here, Thomas, is able to, 10 minutes past 11, is able to reclaim its 5-minute 6 EMA. Do you see that bar?
Yes.
Whereas the triple Qs has put in this bullish 5-minute candlestick, 5-minute shakeout demand tail off the 10-day, but not above the 5-minute 6 EMA. Nor has the MACD turned yet. Whereas Oklo, the MACD has already turned, it's already above the 5-minute 6 EMA. Oklo is stronger. You're starting to see that emergence of relative strength. Oklo, really good. If we were to look at 1010 for Rocket Lab, also stronger. Reclaim 5-minute 6 EMA, MACD turns ahead. So oftentimes at the moment of the Immorello, it's what stocks have reclaimed the 5-minute 6 EMA ahead of the indexes, has the MACD turned ahead of the indexes, and were they able to trade sideways or start building higher lows when the indexes were still going down? Leaders tend to turn first. And if they show a little bit of strength earlier on in the session, like a Rocket Lab, even better.
Yeah. And when you look at Rocket Lab now, it's already reclaimed the open, and
Yes.
no other stock did, right? So
yep, you can see the strength earlier on. But the point that I'm trying to get across here, hopefully, is if you can get the story of the indexes right for there's specific times when you want to trade Immorellos. There's specific times when you want to trade ORBs. There's specific times, like Thomas did, where you want to go short. And if you could just wait for those moments, you could have thrown a dart at Robinhood, Oklo, BA, PLTR, SoFi, Nvidia, Rocket Lab, all at about 10:10, 10 minutes past 11, 10:15, and made money. Those are the situations that you're looking for. You just don't want to try and fight the indexes in here. Just You won't win. You won't beat the algos. Put them on your side.